Was it like dating Erika? Very fun. I mean, she's incredibly loyal.
I'm not going to treat my boyfriend like my fiance and my fiance like my husband.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this the right way.
So did Charlie know that Cabot Phillips was Erika's ex-boyfriend when he was playing him one-on-one and he posted the picture? And also, why does Cabot Phillips have the word pizza tattooed on the inside of his inner lip? Because it just seems coincidental that a lot of us know that that's a code word for something.
If the official story was just a random job interview that turned into romance, then why does the timeline look like a handoff already in motion? That is the contradiction people cannot stop staring at. Because the deeper this gets, the less it looks like one clean love story and the more it looks like overlapping relationships, buried photos, deleted traces, and one question that keeps getting louder: was Charlie walking into a situation that had already been set up long before he knew it?
I'm there thinking it's a business interview.
It started that way.
Right. So we sit down and you grill me for what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Easily on philosophy, politics,
Culture.
religion, culture, economics. What else? Everything else you can imagine, he grilled me. Anything he talks about on his podcast show, he grilled me on.
A resurfaced photo is now sending fresh shockwaves through this whole mess, because online observers say it appears to strengthen a theory that has been floating around for a while now, that Erika and her ex, Cabot Phillips, may have stayed aligned far longer than the public. Story suggests possibly with Charlie being pushed out of the centre while Cabot slid closer to his position. To be crystal clear, that theory is alleged, disputed and not proven in court. But here is the part people cannot ignore. Even before this latest photo came back around, Erika had already been caught in what critics call a direct and provable contradiction about her dating history. The claim that she had not dated anyone for 5 years before Charlie did not hold up once sold photos and videos started resurfacing online. Those posts, according to people archiving the timeline, showed her with multiple different men during the exact period she later described as romantically empty. That matters because once a central part of the origin story cracks, every other detail around it starts getting examined harder. And that is where this gets messy, because the conversation is no longer just about whether the 5-year claim was false. It is about whether she may have still been involved with Cabot, even as Charlie was already entering the picture.
But this is Erika's review of the Crosby Bar in New York. It's her company's go-to. This is the Epstein Files. This is 79... where's it at? 79 Crosby Street. Guess what that is? Crosby Bar.
Once people started asking those questions, both Erika and Cabot were reportedly quick to clean things up online. But deletion only works if nobody saved anything first, and on the internet, somebody always does. Archived Instagram posts began circulating, and what they appeared to show was significant overlap between Erika's involvement with Cabot and the period right before her connection with Charlie allegedly became serious. That alone would be enough to fuel a scandal. But then a much darker detail entered the conversation, and that is when this stopped looking like ordinary relationship drama. Cabot had a tattoo of the word pizza on the inside of his inner lip, and that detail instantly drew attention because some online researchers claim that pizza has appeared as alleged code in certain disturbing SXTR at F-efficking discussions. That interpretation is heavily disputed, and a tattoo by itself proves absolutely nothing. Still, people did not stop there. They started connecting that tattoo to old posts Cabot allegedly made about pizza, and then to a New York location that appeared to overlap with entries in the Epstein Files. Again, not proof of a relationship, not proof of a crime, but enough of a coincidence to make people keep digging.
You were proposed to by Charlie in 2020. You started dating him in 2018. And 3 years before that, we're dating this guy, Tyler Massey. I mean, you guys would do couples photo shoots. This is still online. And this is only 3 years before you started dating Charlie.
He's in heaven.
Yeah, and 2 years later, you were dating this guy, Cabot Phillips, and here he is posting you guys on his public page saying, yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. Again, this is a year before you started dating Charlie, and well within the 5-year period you claim to have never dated anyone, but you were out here dissing your roommate for dating.
On September 17th, 2017, he posted a photo.
The documented timeline starts getting uncomfortable in January 2017. On January 12, Cabot Phillips posted a photo of himself speaking at a Turning Point USA event, celebrating the opportunity and talking about doing what he loved. Then, in the comments, Erika showed up in a way online observers describe as openly flirtatious. That was not a one-off. The same month, she allegedly left another comment that was even more direct, writing, "I heard about this new thing called dating. My best friend was wondering if you wanted to maybe try it out for a week." Now, maybe that was a joke. Maybe it was the start of something. Maybe it reflected a relationship already happening in private. What it definitely was, though, was public. And that is the problem for anyone still trying to sell the idea that these connections just appeared out of nowhere later on. By September 2017, the picture looked even more defined. A post attributed to Cabot showed him and Erika on what appeared to be a painting date, with a caption describing them as that couple who gets painting lessons together. Romantic, public, time-stamped. That post is important all by itself, but here is the part people miss. Just 1 week later, on September 24, Charlie Kirk reportedly posted a photo of himself playing one-on-one basketball with Kat, writing that he beat him and was not sick of winning. If that timeline is accurate, then in the same month, Erika was publicly presented as Cabot's romantic partner. Cabot was also close enough with Charlie to be playing basketball with him and posting about it publicly.
So I was watching Baron Coleman tonight, and guess what? I don't know how to make this smaller to where you can see Erika's face, but this is Erika's review of the Crosby Bar in New York. It's her company's go-to. And this is in 2017. This is her company's go-to. Wait for it. This is the Epstein Files. This is 79. Where's it at? 79 Crosby Street. Guess what that is? Crosby Bar. Guess what? He's got appointments. But you don't know who they're with. Because they're redacted. Appointment with Erika Francefe and friends? Question mark. Not saying it's her. Not saying. Here's another one. It is the same date, referring to 79 Crosby Street. Now, Erika Francefe's review was in May of 2017. Coincidence? Maybe.
That means these were not separate worlds. These were overlapping circles. Everybody knew everybody, or at the very least, everybody moved close enough to one another that the later we had no prior connection narrative starts looking very shaky. And that matters because the official love story version says Erika applied for a job at Turning Point in 2018 with no meaningful prior connection to the organisation, and that Charlie was so impressed during the interview that it organically turned into their first date. Clean, cinematic, easy to repeat. The only problem is that the public timeline, as laid out by critics, makes that story look almost impossible. If Erika was already dating a visible Turning Point figure in 2017, publicly commenting on his event appearances, and existing inside the same social orbit as Charlie himself, then the idea that she walked into a Turning Point interview in 2018 as some kind of total outsider just does not survive scrutiny. That does not automatically prove some grand coordinated plan. But it does mean the romantic origin story, as commonly told, appears to leave out major context. And when a story leaves out that much context, people start asking whether the omissions were accidental or strategic.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September. And people are taking selfies with it.
I can't. I cannot. I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe how I felt when I saw that tent, people taking selfies under a recreation. I don't know if it's actually the tent. It looks like it's pretty old, or a tent that Charlie died under. That's what was happening at AmFest. Horrified. I was aghast. I don't think I ever described myself as aghast. I was aghast. It was ghastly to look at that and to realize that they made a conscious decision to allow that to happen.
Then came the Crosby Street connection, and this is where things start veering into territory that demands careful language. Researcher Baron Coleman reportedly surfaced a 2017 review Erika allegedly left for a bar at 79 Crosby Street in New York. In that review, she referred to it as our company's go-to for lunch and drinks. On its face, that might sound ordinary, but online researchers then pointed out that the same location appeared by name and address inside the Epstein files. That does not prove Erika knew Epstein. It does not prove she met him. It does not prove any criminal link at all. But it does create a strange overlap between a location she allegedly described as routine in 2017 and a location that also appears in a deeply disturbing and heavily scrutinised set of records from that same period. And that is not the only reason the review attracted attention. Critics immediately asked a basic question: what company was Erika talking about in 2017? According to the public version of her background outlined by commentators, she was completing a jurist master's degree in American legal studies from Liberty University and doing non-profit work through Everyday Heroes Like You. There is, according to those same critics, no widely confirmed public record showing some separate company employment in 2017 that cleanly explains that phrase, our company's go-to. Her later documented role at the Corcoran Group reportedly did not begin until October 2018, so that cannot explain a 2017 review. And that gap, small as it sounds, is exactly the kind of gap that turns a weird detail into a major point of suspicion.
You know the bookshelf, right? The bookshelf, y'all see the books? The Secret History of Israel's Targeted Assassinations, Rise and K First. Are you freaking kidding me? Not to mention Mr. Cabot put, pizza talk is the new pillow talk. You tweeted this in 2018, dude, and you know what pizza means. Let's go through some of the books you have on your shelf, shall we? In the Name of the Children, an FBI agent's relentless pursuit of the nation's worst predators. So you know what pizza means, Cabot. Hey, Cabot, check out Cannibalism right here, Cabot. I mean, what? A perfectly natural history. Okay, Cabot. Hey, Cabot, how about this one right here? It's called Stiff. It's also on your bookshelf. The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. Are you kidding me, Cabot?
Some researchers then pushed even further, pointing to an Epstein file entry that allegedly referenced the same Crosby Street location in the same year. Others circulated speculation about a partially rejected name that they argued might align with Erika. That part is important to handle carefully. A possible name overlap in rejected files is not identification, and nobody should present it as confirmed fact. But once that speculation started spreading, the story took on a life of its own. Because now people were no longer just talking about relationship overlap. They were talking about the possibility, however unproven, that some of the same people and places kept appearing around the edges of a much darker network. And then the casting director detail made the whole thing even more uncomfortable. Erika's official website reportedly says she worked in entertainment as a model, actress and casting director from New York City to China. Researchers then compared that to a March 2016 email in the Epstein files in which someone wrote that a rejected woman loves you now, called her charming, and suggested using her for casting director, adding that all she does is party with girls and promoters and she knows everybody. There is no definitive proof that email referred to Erika, none. But critics argue the combination of role, social access and timeline is too close to dismiss casually. Whether that turns out to mean anything or nothing, it is one more overlap in a story built on overlaps.